heated when it has to do with the AFCON qualifier. Super Eagles of Nigeria currently in action against Libya. Likes of Egypt, they're also in action against Mauritania. I tell you, we'll try once again, to bring you some results, from the AFCON qualifiers to you. Probably this will be another exciting edition of the show, and we'll urge you to sit tight as we're going to take a look at the situation of things in that encounter between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Libya at the Goslak International Stadium. We'll take a break, and we'll come back from this break. Of course, we'll unravel all that you need to know revolving around the beautiful world of sports. Stay with us, right back. Welcome back. See Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Of course, we told you we bring you the latest revolving around the world of sport. The AFCON qualifiers is on, and I tell you, of course, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they are currently in action against Libya, really getting intense in that encounter. But joining me this evening to take a look at some of the issues we have on our menu is Emmanuel Michael. Michael, good evening to you, and welcome to the show.
Good evening to you, Kingsley, and good evening to our viewers out there. Thanks for having me on today's edition of the show.
Let's get straight, of course, to the matter, Michael. Some Nigerians expect, the Super Eagles at least to have gotten a goal at the moment at the Goslak International Stadium, where they are currently in action against Libya. But from what we're seeing, no goal yet recorded by the Super Eagles of Nigeria. First off, what do you make of it? We're into the second half of the encounter. How was the first half?
I think the first half, actually, Nigeria were asking most of the questions out there. Goalkeeper Stanley Wabale has been on holiday in between the goal line for Super Eagles in the first half out there. We'll be actually pushing the ball down to the 18-yard or to the half of the Libyans out there, but then they have remained tenacious and very dogged in their defense line as well. You can also say that their keeper is not doing bad at all, because he has saved about 3 or even more chances that would have been converted for us to give us the lead. But then I think the keeper has been very, very outstanding in the first half for the Libyan side. I just think that the Super Eagles will need to step up in this second half if we truly want to win this very well. If not, if we continue from what we saw in the first half, it might likely end in a draw. But then I expect the coach to have given his pep talk to the players out there. Possibly, maybe when the game gets to 70 minutes or thereabout, we are going to see some changes being brought in so as to see if we can be able to change the situation out there. For one of the most active players on the pitch of play, you talk about Lukman Ademola is in the first half. He's been creating chances as well, trying to do one or two magical feats out there to see if we can be able to open the scoreline, but then it hasn't been very easy. Victor Boniface, we talked about him saying that the responsibility to give us to score the goal relies on him right now, and it's a whole lot of pressure, having seen that he seems to struggle when it comes to the national team out there. But in the Bundesliga, he scores goal for fun, but then when it comes to the national team, I find it very difficult. We've seen one or two moves inside the 18-yard box from Victor Boniface in the first half, which has not yet materialized to any meaningful thing, which is the end point being goal out there. So I think I expect the coach, especially in the midfield as well, Alex Iwobi, expect Alex Iwobi to be doing some of the more of those killer passes out there. I haven't seen any from his boot out there. Frank Onyeka, doing pretty well as well, going for the ball, charging opponent as well. And for me, I think in the midfield, we need to step up if we truly want to win this game. Then again, the attack, we need to also be very clinical. On the right-hand side of the wing, Victor Simon as well. Moses Simon, rather, has been doing his own part as well, but I also think that there is a little bit of touches that he needs to do out there so as to make the game more easier, because he holds on too much on the ball, which for me I think is not good at this point in time. We need to create those chances, pile the pressure against the Libyans, so that we'll get, the cutting edge first. Then that will open up the Libyans' defense, and we may have chances of scoring more goals. But then, if he remains cagey from the first half down to maybe 50, 60, 70 minutes in the second half, I tell you, it might probably end in a draw. So the coach, talking about Osne Guavon, has a lot on his desk out there to do in this very second half.
Let's see how it goes, and look forward to see how the Super Eagles of Nigeria, of course, will get things done this evening. Michael, just like you mentioned, second half is upon us as we speak. The Libyans still trying the most they can, of course, to hold their own. What are your expectations from the manager, talking about Osne Guavon, in this second half?
Like I said earlier, I think within the second half, maybe 70 minutes or 75 minutes, I expect him to do changes if we still find it difficult to open up the defense line of the Libyans out there. I think the coach needs to do some changes, bring in the likes of Tom Dele Bashiru, who is seated on the bench out there, because at least for me, taking a look at what he's done so far for Lazio this season in the Thailand Serie A, he is that man that can be able to unlock the defense of the Libyans out there. Then in the wing, maybe Samuel Chukwueze might come in to take the place of Moise Simon as well, to see if we can be able to see a different philosophy, a different pattern of play as well. Then Victor Osimhen has been very good in positioning, but I think he has not been receiving the killer passes for him to score the goal. So I expect in our defense, I think our defense is very, very strong at the back. Calvin Bassey, Bruno Yemechi, William Truseko, Ola Aina holding their own. I think we have not received much pressure from the defense line. So you will say that our defense, is very okay. But I think our midfield, need some little bit of rejigging in the second half if we truly want to win this game. So I expect the coach to make use of his bench. We'll have some quality players in the bench. Frank Onyedika as well is also in the bench, which is also a very good player. Kelechi Iheanacho, people are saying, he's not regular for Sevilla side, so I don't expect him to be throwing, but you cannot jettison the experience that Kelechi Iheanacho brings to the national team out there. Then for Chidera Ejuke, who also makes a return in the national team as well. If going by what we've seen so far in his performances for the Sevilla side, maybe he needs to be introduced at some point in the game in this second half, so that we'll get to see some of his flashes that we've seen so far this season for the Sevilla side. Maybe he can be able to help to unlock the defense, because he's very, very good at holding on to the ball. He knows how to take on players one-on-one out there, and that could also cause havoc for the defense line of the Libyans, and that could help also to open up, the defense line and possibly help us to get the goals as well. So for me, I expect a lot, like I said earlier, from the coach in this second half.
Let's see how it goes, of course, for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Not a really, an impressive one. Of course, Michael, just like it's the result not really favoring the Super Eagles at the moment. Benin Republic are currently leading against Rwanda, and this might, of course, help them, of course, to stay in a very comfortable position in that group if the result ends this way for the Super Eagles. But too early to say, talking about the results between Super Eagles and Libya.
Yeah, I think too early to say, but then I think it's, the time is ticking and the time is going. Time waits for nobody. I mean, we continue to go this way where we continue to struggle to get a goal or to open the scoreline against Libya, and there Benin, leading Rwanda already. Don't forget that Benin is seated second in the group as well. So if they get to win this very one, that gives them 6 points. And if we get to draw, we have 5 points, meaning that we'll be playing the second fiddle against a Benin Republic side, which for me would be a very big disappointment and a disgrace to us. So I expect us to do everything possible to ensure that we get all 3 points, because you take a look at what Benin is doing right now. They are not smiling at all, and they are not ready to relinquish any point at this point in time. So for me, I think they may also be getting the feel as the result of what is happening in the other group games that concerns us as well. So I expect them to also build on this, and going into the second half, make sure that we get all 3 points, because it will be very bad, like I said, if we draw at home and then Benin Republic get to win their game, means that they will be topping the table out there. In our next match, we'll be playing away against Libya, which makes it even more difficult. So I expect the players as well to come to the party, live up to the expectation, up their ante, make sure you get the win, so that at least we don't wear this sign of pressure heading to the next game against Libya away.
All right, let's see how it says. Super Eagles, of course, still piling pressure in that encounter against Libya, and things, of course, not really going their way. They've been asking all the question, but from what we're seeing, getting the goals has been a very huge, problem for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But some games are on as we speak in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers, as Equatorial Guinea, they just beat Liberia in that encounter, 1-0. It ended in that one, of course, and was a very impressive performance, of course, you would say, for Equatorial Guinea. South Africa are currently playing against Congo, and it is 1-0 in favor of South Africa. Uganda leading South Sudan by 1-0. Michael, Cameroon, they are not smiling at all against Kenya. It is 4-1 as we speak, and also 60 minutes gone in that encounter.
It is a statement of intent for the Cameroonian side, the indomitable lion. I think for me, they are showing the stuff that they are made of. Taking a look at their disappointing outing in the last African Cup of Nations, it was a very poor outing for them. At some point, the FA, talking about Samuel Eto'o, had to get into the camp to talk to the players one-on-one during the course of the African Cup of Nations, and their fans are not really happy going by their last performance out there. So maybe they just want to please the fans and also try to see if they could get the AFCON 2025 ticket, and that is why they are not taking anything to chance at all. Being very clinical in front of goals out there. I actually watched some of the clips in some of the goals scored so far. I think it's been a very roller coaster ride for the indomitable Lions of Cameroon.
Impressive one for Cameroon. It's been a very long time. We saw them, of course, putting up goals like this, in a game. And we hope that they will be able to maintain this one towards the end of 90 minutes, in this particular encounter. But there will be some matches as well tonight, Michael. Senegal against Malawi. What do you make of it? Senegal playing at home. You think with the home advantage, they'll be able to get past Malawi with ease?
Yeah, I expect Senegal to get the job done and dusted, especially when their key men, talking about Nicolas Jackson and Mane, is also doing pretty well for their different club side. For Al Nassr, Mane is doing pretty well for Chelsea. We say that Nicholas Jackson have also started the season in a very good form. And the both players are gearing to go. So I expect Senegal to, get a job done and dusted this evening.
All right, let's see how it goes. We also expect some other fixtures as Gabon, who lock ons against Lesotho. We also see Tunisia against Comoros. These are some of the fixtures, of course, we'll be expecting tonight in the AFCON qualifiers. It promises to be another exciting time this evening, taking a look at the latest coming from, the AFCON qualifiers. Super Eagles, currently playing goalless against Libya as we speak, and about 63 minutes gone in that encounter, and a lot is being expected from the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Victor Boniface yet to, of course, open his goal account, Michael, with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Everyone thought in this encounter maybe he should have utilized it due to the fact that Osimhen is not in the team.
Yes, I also think so, that Victor Boniface should also do everything possible to also open his goal account for the national team out there, because we know how good he is for the Bundesliga side, talking about Bayern Leverkusen. But whenever he comes to the national team, he finds it very difficult to get his scoring boots on. But let's hope that he is going to change that narrative today in the match against Libya. But in the first half, we saw one or two flashes coming in from Victor Boniface, just that he failed to, capitalize on it. And sometimes he hold on to the ball, he want to caress the ball, inside the 18-yard box, take on one or two defenders out there before he score the goal. That doesn't happen in African football, though if it happens, it is on a rare occasion. Defenders right here in African football is quite, different from that European football. Out there in Bayern Leverkusen, Victor Boniface, he takes on defender with ease. It takes you off, the road and score a very cool and collected, calmly and collected a goal out there. But in Africa, most of the defenders are too physical, so you could find it very difficult to take on one or two defenders inside the 18-yard box for you to gain the balance and score the goal. And that is the difference between Victor Boniface and Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen uses his strength to muscle through the defense and score the goal. He doesn't want to caress the ball or romance the ball too much on the 18-yard box. If he has one chance, he takes the shot. Before you know it, it's a goal. But Victor Boniface, you want to be very cool, calmly, take one or two defenders away from the 18-yard box before you coolly slot the ball inside the 18-yard, inside the back of the net, which defenders right here in African football, they won't give you that latitude of time for you to, dribble one or two and get the balance, get your composure before you score a beautiful goal. No. What happens is that Victor Victor Boniface, you get a chance, one or two, take outside the 18-yard box. He must not necessarily dribble defenders before you score a goal. When a chance comes your way, take it one time. It might happen that it goes maybe through deflection, the ball enters inside the back of the net. So a lot is expected from him. But if you get to 70, 75 minutes and he did not score, then I am expecting the coach to bring in Taiwo Awoniyi, who is more physical than Victor Boniface.
Well, what do you make of it? You take a look at the way the game is actually going, Michael. The Libyan side, they are sitting back and the Super Eagles are asking all the questions. They seem to be very good, of course, in their own half. What will be your advice to Eguavon looking at the tactics that Libya are actually deploying in this encounter?
You need a good midfielder, a good creative midfielder, and you need somebody, a smart winger as well. That is the only way you are going to unlock the defense. When you have a good creative midfielder like Tom Dele Bashiru, he can penetrate through the defense line. If they don't allow him to, to go to pass, it's either a result to penalty, which will give all the goal. Bring in fast winger like Samuel Chukwueze. On a good day, he could be able to open
I think is in the game.
Okay, maybe they have brought him in because in the first half, he didn't start the first half.
Yeah.
And that would be a good one because he has a very good footwork as well and he has the pace as well to take on defenders. That is the only thing that can help to open up the... But if you leave Alex Iwobi on the pitch, Alex Iwobi is too dull with the ball. This is African football. You don't wait until you have all of the time before you can be able to slick in those passes. No. Bring in Tomdele Bashiru inside the midfield. You know, possibly bring in Bruno Onyemaechi as well. He can also help, because I think that Wilfred Ndidi is too cautious of sitting deep. Bring in, Bruno Onyemaechi, who also is very, very adventurous as well. These are the only way we can be able to open up the defense line of the Libyan, because from what we've seen, they are very, very good defensively. They are very good at their back, very compact. They are very cool and calmly collected. They are not in a haste, and that is why we find it difficult. And we are not piling much pressure against them. When you allow your opponent all of the time to think what he wants to do with the ball, it could be very difficult for you to break them down. But if you don't give them that breathing space for them to think on what they want to do with the ball, they will continue to commit errors, and that will lead to penalty or a goal. So for me, I think we need to, pile the pressure against them. We need to move the ball faster, because in the first half, we're moving the ball too slow for me, and that is what get Pep Guardiola angry. You don't play that kind of game where you're playing against with Pep Guardiola or even Mikel Arteta. He will ask you to play the ball. I mean, make the move faster. In as much as it is good, we are seeing a very unique pattern of play from Austin Eguavoen, which is we holding on to the possession, knocking the ball around. But then we must do it faster. This is what Barcelona of then 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012 was doing under Pep Guardiola. They will do the tiki-taka play, but they move the ball faster. You don't have to be dull, because if you are dull, the clock is ticking against you, and you might end up playing draws. And if the opponent even have chance, they may even hit you on counter, and the rest they say will be history. So we need to move the ball faster. In as much as we are good in holding on to the ball, we holding on to the possession without penetration, we end up in frustration.
All right, we hope that the Super Eagles won't be frustrated in this encounter, because Michael, it is 69 minutes gone in this one, almost 70 minutes. Super Eagles get to record a goal as they stand. We're even seeing the Libyans asking the questions now, as they stand. Maybe they've been rejuvenated since they came back in the second half, and they've been putting all means to make sure that they get something from this one. I don't know what you make of it. Really not a very good time, not a very good moment at this point, until the Super Eagles probably register. They are playing at home at the Goslar Pablo International Stadium, a familiar ground, of course, you will say. And we expect Super Eagles, of course, to be able to get the needed results. And for the fact that, Mike, if you take a look at it, bulk of the players from Libya are home based. And the Super Eagles are struggling with them. I don't know what you make of it. Will you say improvements, in African football?
Yeah, but then again, you'll also say that it could also be traced to the fact that they have more synergy. The bulk of the player playing at home, it means they understand themselves better than the conglomerate of different players from different leagues out there in Europe, coming together within the space of less than a week or a week. To prepare for the game against Libya. So it will take them time to gel. It will take them time to get to understand the chemistry in between themselves. But bulk of the home-based players, they have been there. They are playing week in, week out for their different club side out there at home. It's more like assembling local players that plays every day, to go for a match. They tend to gain more understanding among themselves compared to others as it is. But then talk about South Africa as well. Bulk of their players in the last African Cup of Nations, they were home based. In fact, all the players were picked from 2 club sides out there, which is Mamelodi Sundowns, out there. So for me, I think it gives them an edge, because they get to understand themselves better than Super Eagles that have players coming in from different club sides out there in Europe. And as we have found it very difficult to score, and we are heading to 70 minutes. It even gives the Libyan that confidence that we can even do it. If we can be able to hold the Super Eagles at their home ground right from the first minute down to 70 minutes, they are growing in confidence.
Yes,
and that is what it means. And if they have any chance right now, they will capitalize on it, to stab a dagger in our hearts.
All right, not a very good time at the moment. We'll just look forward to see how it will go down. We'll hope before night, the game comes to an end. The Super Eagles will be able to get a goal in this one. But Michael, as we continue to track things in that encounter, let's also tilt our eyes back home down here as we'll see some games in the Nigerian Premier Football League Match Day 6 encounter will be upon us. And first, we'll see Abia Warriors against Kwara United. Ikorodu City will lock horns against Benda Insurance. Social Stars against Enugu Rangers. We'll also see Remo Stars against Nasarawa United. And Bayelsa United will also lock horns against Plateau United. Economy Warriors against Heartland FC. Niger Tornadoes will be in action against Lobby Stars. And Akwa United will be welcoming Kano Pillars this weekend at home as well. And Katsina United against Rivers United. Shooting Stars will be in action against Enyimba Football Club. But let's take a look at Rivers United. Unbeaten form for them since the season got started. Away from home this weekend against Katsina United. You see them taking the points at least back home.
Yeah, looking at their form so far this season, where they have not lost any game, are seated comfortably at the top of the log. I think if there's anything to go by their form, you may want to say, yeah, they have an advantage against Nasarawa United. But then, for the fact that they are playing away from home, it's a disadvantage for them. Even though we've seen a little bit of changes in the Nigerian Premier Football League this season, where you see team going away to pick all 3 points. But then, that home advantage is also still there, because you talk about the northern teams out there. Their fans are very, very dedicated, very, very passionate to, stand in behind their team out there. And this one might pan out, to be a different ball game for Rivers United. As the Nasarawa United, their fans at home out there are very, very dedicated. They may want to turn out in mass to cheer their team, and that will boost the confidence of the home team out there. And that may make life very, very tough for Rivers United. But then we will get to see if the results that Finidi George has gotten so far since the start of the season is genuinely out of his tactical prowess, or is it just a fluke that we've seen him not lost any match so far in the Nigerian Premier Football League. But then I tell you, it's going to be a very, very tough game.
A very tough one, I know, as it stands, and look forward to see how that one, of course, will pan out. But from what we're seeing at this point, also Akwa United who welcome Kano Pillars. Michael, what do you make of it? Poor start for Akwa United. A Kano Pillars side that has the likes of Abdullahi and also Ahmed Musa at this point in time. Will things be easy for Akwa United at home?
Well, even the man Ezekiel in the Bible didn't find some things very easy, out there. So it's not going to be an easy one for, for them. And for Akwa United, just like when we, brought on Francis Idroyen, who is an Uyo-based journalist out there who also understands the team, talking about Akwa United very well. He stated it very clear that the Akwa Ibom, the fans of Rivers United, Akwa United are very, very dissatisfied with the performance of Akwa United so far this season. And some of them are even calling for, the removal of the coach, talking about Baba Ganaru because of the poor results so far this season. And I think with the pressure piled upon Baba Ganaru to turn things around, he may want to give Kano Pillar a run for their money, especially playing at home. It is an advantage for them. But then you will also see that for Kano Pillar, I think they have what it takes. They have the quality. Ahmed Musa, the captain of the Super Eagles, back with them right now. We also talk about Abdullahi. Then we have the iconic, player, talking about Rabiu Ali as well. So I think it's going to be a very big plan. But I tell you, it will be a banana peel, one that is going to see both teams, trying to see if they could get all 3 points. But then I think Akwa United need the 3 points more than Kano Pillars at this point in time.
All right, so of course, really getting intense at the Goslar Pabi International Stadium. Super Eagles asking most of the question in this one, but still finding it difficult, of course, to break the wall being put up by Libya in this particular one. Really, really intense at the moment. Super Eagles look a little bit pressured, looking at the fact that they're at home and they're looking forward to get at least a goal in this one. And we'll see how this one, of course, will go down. But things not going well for the Super Eagles, asking most of looking forward to see what comes up at the end of the game. But still talking about the NPFL, Michael, I will be saying, yes, Ikorodu City, they are one team that have gotten a poor start so far in the NPFL this season. They were looking at against Bender Insurance, they're playing at home. Any hope, and is there any assurance that home advantage might play in for them?
Well, you talk about hope, but I will also tell you that hope is the only thing that keeps a man alive. And once you lose hope in this life, it means, life will become very difficult. So I think Ikorodu City will, will be hoping to get all 3 points, having struggled since the start of this season. I think, experience as well matters. And gaining promotion from the NNL down to the Nigerian Premier Football League, they are looking very, very unstable, and they are finding life very, very difficult in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Their coach, resigned about 3 weeks ago, thereabout, because of the poor results they've been getting. And I think they want to also turn things around this time around. But then, I tell you, it's going to be a Herculean task for them. But let's see what comes up this weekend, if they can actually get their first win and first 3 points in the new season.
Let's see what comes up for them. I tell you, I look forward to see what comes up this weekend in the Nigerian Premier Football League. But Michael, a lot of persons are just missing Victor Osimhen. Some are saying that if he was in this game, maybe the scoreline won't have been this way.
Yeah, for me, I think you can't also underestimate what Victor Osimhen brings to the table in the Super Eagles team out there. But then, do we want to say here? Do I want to say here that Victor Osimhen's absence in the national team have also, will cause us not to score a goal, where we have, a striker like Victor Boniface, Taiwo Awoniyi, Lukman Ademola, Samuel Chukwueze, Kelechi Iheanacho. Mention the big names or the big stars that we have doing pretty well for their different club side out there. So I do not want to totally agree with that. We know that Victor Osimhen factor is also very good for the national team, because he knows how to bully defenders, and not allowing defenders to, rest, in their own yard out there. But then I also still think that we have the qualities, despite the absence of Victor Osimhen, to deliver. I mean, this shouldn't be an excuse for the Super Eagles that, courtesy of the fact that their marksman Victor Osimhen is not there, and that is the reason why we could not defeat Libya. No, I do not want to agree to that line of thought. I still think that it just boiled down to we taking our chances, boiled down to we taking the game down to the Libyans. 1 or 2 mistakes might happen inside the 18-yard box, which will give us penalty. Immediately we score the first goal, then I think the Libyans, they want to also come out, and that will help to open up the defense. So for me, I think Victor Boniface, he's done his part, but Victor Osimhen's absence, is it the reason why we should not win Libya in our own backyard? I do not want to agree.
Of course, taking a look at it, things not going well for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but I tell you, Benin Republic are enjoying the best of time, Michael. They are currently leading that game against Rwanda, 3-0. This is the Rwanda side that the Super Eagles, struggled to get a goal, from. What do you make of it, Benin Republic? Beating them, yes, they are home, we understand, but 3-0. What do you make of the way things are turning out, in that particular group?
I think for Benin Republic, they are also making a statement of intent. This same Benin Republic has our former coach, out there talking about Genero. And of course, you saw the time of Genero with the Nigerian national team. That was the only time we were able to do away with the, pressing of calculators when qualifying series comes in order to see if the Super Eagles will qualify for one tournament or the other. In the previous, we used to, punch calculators because of the poor start, the way we used to start our qualifying games out there. You see that we begin to calculate if the next team get to drop point and Super Eagles get to win and all of that. But Genero came in, he was able to change the narrative. We'll be rest assured that we are going to qualify for even the African Cup of Nations or even the World Cup. But then he left to Benin Republic, and we saw the quality that is making, with the Benin Republic side. They don't forget, they defeated us in the World Cup qualifying game as well. So for me, I think for Benin Republic, they are also improving a lot. You need to give Genetro, his flowers for the job he's doing so far for the Benin Republic side.
Of course, as it stands, from what we've seen so far at this point in time, really getting intense in that one. Ademola Lookman looking for the goal, but still yet to find the back of the net. But I think there was a goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but I think that one has been ruled for an offside in that one from what we're seeing right here. And we'll look forward to see what comes up next. But we're seeing, yes, the linesman raising up his flag, trying to look at where the offside, of course, is. Was a clean goal from down there from Ademola Lookman, but that has been ruled for an offside. Michael, I don't know if you got that one clear.
I think for me, if VAR is deployed in this game, I see no reason why that goal should be ruled for an offside, because he actually, left in between the defense line inside the 18-yard box to go for the ball. So I don't know whether we are actually using VAR in this African Cup of Nations qualifier, because if we're making use of the VAR, I think the VAR official should have called the center ref, to have a proper look on that goal out there, which for me, I think it is a very clean goal. There was nothing like offside there. We also faced the same thing in the away game against Rwanda, where we scored a clean goal, but the referee ruled it off. This time around, I think we need to also improve. CAF need to improve, because you can't tell me in the African Cup of Nations qualifier, a big game such as this, we are not deploying the use, we are not making the use of a video assistant referee. And this is where we get to, see some of the things, these mistakes out there, because if the center ref is called into the VAR screen to go back and, watch this game, this is a pure goal. He will give it for a goal.
Not a very good one at the moment for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Looking at the fact that they have to struggle getting a goal, and that one, of course, was ruled for an offside. But Egypt currently doing well against, they're leading as we speak, in that encounter, 2-0, as it stands. I don't know what you make of it for the Egyptians. They're playing against Mauritania, and they're leading as well in that one.
It's a good one for the Egyptians, the Pharaohs of Egypt out there. First half, they find it difficult to open the goal scoring record, but then I think they've also upped their ante, and that is what we expected the Super Eagles to be doing right now, and not to continue to struggle until about 80 or 70 something minutes.
It is 85 minutes gone.
As it is, very few minutes right now, we will be wrapping up. I think for me, the Egyptians, they are taking their destiny into their hands.
That's a good one. A draw won't be a good result for the Super Eagles, and I think the Eagles have gotten a goal this time. They've gotten a goal. The man Dele Bashiru, the goal scorer for that particular encounter. This is what we've been asking. This is what we've been asking from the Eagles. They've been asking the question, and now they've gotten the goal. A moment of relief, a moment of joy for Nigerians.
I told you just a few minutes ago, I told you that we need somebody like Tom Bashiru in the midfield, taking a look at his form for Lazio this season. I actually pointed this out a few minutes ago while you and I were also conversing, even off the screen out there, that he has what it takes. He has the magical move. He knows when to penetrate inside the 18-yard box, and he's very combative, very skillful. He's good at seeing those runs out there, and he's good with his foot, both feet as well. And he takes shot outside the 18-yard box. Like I told you that Alex Iwobi is too dull on the ball. No doubt, no disrespect to Alex Iwobi. But in the midfield, in African football, you need to be very active and agile. I mean, Iwobi is a very good midfielder. But in terms of African football, he's too dull on the ball. Tom Bashiru possesses all the techniques that you require of a complete number 10. And I think I say that if he's being brought into the midfield, it's going to be a very good one. And take a look at what he's done right now. Only if the goal will stand this time around, let the linesman not rule it off for an offside again.
It's been recorded. It's been recorded. It is Super Eagles of Nigeria 1, Libya 0. 87-minute gone in that encounter. And I think it's a moment of relief for the Super Eagles. Tom Bashiru with that impressive kick inside the 18-yard box, and a very impressive one, as it is. The Libyan side, they've tried, Michael, they've really tried, to hold this one. But the Super Eagles have been really ahead of them. They don't have to, come up with that goal at the late minutes of this particular encounter. We have a few minutes before this game, of course, will come to an end. Michael, what do you make of the strength as well from the Libyans?
I think you need to also commend them. You need to give them their credits as well. It's not easy coming in, to the Super Eagles to hold us very strong to about 85th minute or thereabout before we could open the goal-scoring account for us. I think you need to give them their credit as well. They've done massive job, I tell you. They'll be holding their head very high, even if they get to lose this one. Going back home, they have to take some positive in the fact that they play one of the best African sides, as it is right now. Don't forget we got to the last AFCON final. So they are playing against one of the top sides in Africa, relatively unknown in African football, lowly ranked in the FIFA ranking. And we are ranked above them, coming to hold us, to ransom to 80-something minutes before we could find a cutting edge. I think they need to take some credit for them. But going forward, we need to also continue to see if we can be able to score more goals, because we've seen it. Late goals is something that is always very good and exciting for the fans out there. If we can score 1 or 2 goals in the remaining few minutes, that would be a good one. But you need to give the Libyans credit for the job they've done so far.
So sad for Victor Boniface, Michael, an opportunity where he has to show what he's made up of, and yet, we couldn't get something from him.
Yeah, so sad. But like football, it is not the way you think it's going to pan out. Sometimes it doesn't pan out that way, but that is football for you. But I strongly think that Victor, Boniface need to pray hard, and to also, because I know he's very active on social media doing the funny stuff. In their last game where he failed to score for Bayern Leverkusen, he tweeted. I mean, he went to his social media handle to type that maybe this time around he didn't score, but he thought that according to him, these na village people, but last na Libya go suffer him, meaning that he was coming to score against Libya. But we did not see that happen. I don't know whether it is the village people that he talked about that is holding his scoring boot back for the national team. But I tell you, it is not a good one. And as it is right now, he will be falling out of favor with the Super Eagles fans. Any day, anytime, he will even prefer to go with Taiwo Awoniyi in the next game than going with Victor Boniface. I tell you, it is not a good one for him.
That was a good one, of course, for Victor Boniface. And from what it is, we hope that the Super Eagles fans will continue to be patient with the man until he, open his goal account with the side.
I tell you, patience is a very scarce commodity when it has to do with the Super Eagles fans and even the Three Lions fans. You know, patience is one thing, one commodity that is very, very scarce with us. When once you are not delivering, the Super Eagles fans, you are no longer their friends. You are only their friends whenever you are doing the right thing, when you have to do with the national. That is why, despite the way Victor Osimhen went onto the social media, you know, to have that, you know, rancor with Finidi George, but yet he's still getting the love, the support from the fans out there. You can see that. Yes, you can. Yeah, because everybody is identifying with Victor Osimhen, saying that, oh, if Victor Osimhen was in the team, at least he would have scored more than 2 goals or even 3 goals in this very game. So I think people identify you when you are succeeding, but when it seems you are not succeeding, nobody wants to identify with you.
Interesting substitution, you say, from the man Austin Eguavon, taking out Ademola Lookman and bringing Simi Ajayi, I think, to, of course, create that block to make sure that the defense is tight, because the game is almost over.
But I do not think that that substitution is very necessary. From the get-go, we've been very good defensively, you know, and getting you know, a late goal, I do not think that it is right for him to, you know, bring in a defender to sub one of the most effective player on the pitch of play, which is Lookman.
The game is almost up.
Well, the game is almost up, no doubt, but we are good defensively. Instead of subbing a player that is very, very active on the pitch, why not sub any other, you know, player and bring in maybe more fresh leg to add into the attacks? Why did you invite somebody like Chidera Ejuke, who is in form for Sevilla?
Of course, is a two-legged encounter. Maybe in the next game in Libya, we'll probably see some of these players, you know, on us to stand. A few minutes to go in that encounter, and I think the Super Eagles are not taking their time now to, you know, caress, you know, the ball as it says. So a good moment for Nigerians, a good moment for the people of Uyo, good moments for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So despite the victory for Benin Republic, I think just this one goal and no 3 points, good enough for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Yes, but then I still think that Benin Republic are doing a great job. 3 goals. I think it will come to a point where goals will also matter a lot. We've scored 4 goals as it is right now, without conceding any. And if you take a look at what Benin is doing, I think if they score 4 goals, if the match ends that way, then they may just be, you know, very close in also gapping us in goals as well, or even coming second to us.
But are you really okay? Are you satisfied that the Eagles have to struggle to get past Libya at the Goslak International Stadium?
For me, I will not say that I'm not satisfied. You know why? Reason being that Libya, they even needed the result more than the Super Eagles do. And that is why they gave us a headache to ensure that they get all 3 points. So for me, I would not say that I'm disappointed. I would have been very disappointed if we did not play, you know, a free, fluent football, if we were defending all through. So for me, I think the Libyan put up a massive show. So I won't want to say that I'm disappointed, because they needed the win more than the Super Eagles.
It's, of course, game over. Super Eagles of Nigeria 1, Libya 0. And I tell you, all 3 points to the Super Eagles of Nigeria in that one. And a impressive victory. You will say we have to call it a wrap up this point. It's really been an impressive time taking a look at that encounter between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Libya. We'll be back tomorrow for another, you know, incisive analysis on this particular one. Special thanks to Michael, of course, for joining me this evening to take a look at this one. Stay locked on Atlantic Television Network as more programs will be coming your way. My name is Kingsley Manuel. Thanks for watching.